How do I 26F proceed with my best friend of 7 years 26F after she breached my trust greatly on my wedding day? Hi guys, first time poster and English is not my first language, so sorry for any errors that might occur. I am looking for advice regarding my best friend who really misbehaved at my wedding and in my opinion also the day after. Although I do have good friends to talk to, I would like an unbiased opinion to see if I am making more out of this than it actually is. You can read everything to get an idea of my story or skip to the main part where I explain her misbehavior. TLDR at the end. This is about me 26F, my best friend Gaby 26F, who was also one of 2 bridesmaids and 2 of my close friends Brian 26 meters and Amanda 26F. The 2 close friends are actually more like side characters, but this whole ordeal started with what happened between them, so I mentioned them here. I am of Asian origin, but live in Europe where Asians are rather scarce important for the story. This might be a bit long, so sorry in advance. So last week I got married to my now husband whom I've been together with since we were 17 and 18. It was a very casual, non-fancy wedding because where we're from, it's typical to have 2 weddings with the first one being the smaller legal wedding, meaning you get married so the state honors your marital status. The second bigger wedding is typically a year later where you get married in church. For both these weddings it was planned to have 2 groomsmen and 2 bridesmaids and I of course chose my 2 closest and best friends. The morning began with me sitting at the hairdresser's. My bridesmaids came in about an hour before I was finished to check on me and get me anything if needed. When Gaby came in, she barely talked and she doesn't seem to like my other best friend because she may be too happy giddy for her. Gaby is often complaining about things and in the first few minutes I noticed she was somehow very quiet and looked mad. I talked to her about it and she said it was because her morning was a little stressful. So I thought that was that, just a stressful morning. The legal part went beautifully with many people greeting and congratulating us when we were done and came outside. It was really overwhelming for us and I couldn't have been happier. Gaby also seemed to enjoy everything and organized a lot, also taking photos with another good friend, and I thought she was good now. Even until evening everything seemed fine, with some stress in between because of organization, but really nothing major because it was all resolved very quickly. The party began at 6 p.m. after having dinner together with all our guests and there was a lot of alcohol involved. We're German, young and drink a lot. So now my 2 close friends Brian and Amanda enter. I am proud to say I was a very good wingwoman for both my friends and have over some time been telling them about the other and gave them the idea they might hit it off. And they did. They got along great and I was really happy it worked. However, Gaby was not amused. She has been single for a couple of years now and when Brian hit on her when she entered my friend group, she doesn't have any other friends aside from me, which is also kind of a problem. She rejected him and told him she wasn't interested. All is good. Brian got over it quickly and then had his eyes all on Amanda when we had the wedding. But when my best friend Gaby noticed they were talking so much, she told me so many times they were talking like it was a bad thing. At this time, I didn't think anything of it, but Amanda later told me she not only talked to me about it the entire time, but she also went between them and tried to get them apart. I don't understand this because she had already rejected Brian. The main part, anyway, at some point I saw Gaby walking out with Brian with her arm around his neck and pulling him. I thought that looked off somehow and followed them quickly to prevent Gaby from talking Brian out of hitting it off with Amanda. I asked what was up and why she wanted to talk to Brian and Gaby said that Amanda had asked her to. I told her we didn't need to interfere because they got along great and we should just let them do their thing. Brian just went inside again to the party and I asked what was wrong. That's when she told me that Amanda had apparently said that she saw Brian ducking an Asian woman in the bushes. I called because Amanda would have no reason to do that, and if she did see that, she certainly wouldn't keep talking to Brian. They went home together that evening, by the way. I told her to just leave them alone and that was the last time I talked to her that evening. After I think 2 hours I was looking for her because I hadn't seen her in a while, and when I asked one of the groomsmen, he said that she had already left. This surprised me because it was her best friend's wedding and she just left without saying goodbye to neither me nor my husband. When I asked why, he said she seemed to be pissed off and her sister, who also catered us that evening but had already left, came back to pick up Gaby. I was shocked to hear that and also very sad and disappointed, but thought, okay, we're not going to let that bother us today, let's resolve that tomorrow. But then he asked me what I was doing in the bushes with Brian. And I was like, what do you mean? Well, apparently my so-called best friend walked around and told everyone that she saw Brian ducking an Asian woman in the bushes. Remember, she told me that Amanda had said that, not herself. But it was her. She was very drunk, yes, but still she walked around basically telling everyone I was cheating on my husband on my wedding day because I was the only Asian at the party. So, who else could it be other than me? This really caught me off guard because I didn't understand why she'd say something like that. Now, that evening the groomsmen and I had said that she was very drunk and well not let this get in the way of having an otherwise fantastic day, and we didn't. We partied till 4 and then went home. The next day, she replied to my question I asked in the evening about where she was. And she acted like nothing had happened. Just a typical day with emojis and everything. Homie is what she answered. I waited for her to come forward with what she had done, but she didn't. Just kept asking when we are going to tidy up the location and if we need help. I told her we were already done, because every other friend had come to help already without asking. Then I straight up asked why she left without saying goodbye to me or anyone for that matter. And she just said she didn't want to disturb us and her sister was on the way of leaving, which she wasn't. She was already at home and came back to pick her up, so she decided to hop on. So, this is obviously a straight up lie with a sober mind. She said she was sorry for leaving without telling me but that she hopes that I still had a good evening. I then asked her why she was running around telling everyone she saw Brian ducking an Asian woman in the bushes because the only Asian woman there was me and I did not appreciate the implications. She said she'd never say that and she definitely did never ever say that, to which I replied she did. She said it to me but lied about who was spreading the rumor. She said it to others because I was confronted by 3 different people who all told me she said what she said. She didn't give in and insisted she didn't say such things. This went back and forth a couple of times until she finally apologized by saying if you're sure I said that, then I believe you and I am really sorry. But I know I definitely didn't say that or anything of that sort. For me, this is a non-apology. Because obviously she does not believe me and is therefore not sorry. And to this day I haven't got a proper apology, just some more of these non-apologies. She tells me to believe she values our friendship very deeply. And she is very sorry for everything, but honestly her actions don't match that. For me, a good friend would never say such things and would not behave the way she did. She did a lot more pretty stupid and immoral things, like hitting on the younger brother of a good friend whose girlfriend was standing right next to them. She kept flirting with him the entire time, but they were too nice to put her in her place. She tried with a couple of guys but no one was really interested after seeing her become the way she was. These are all things I do not condone because this behavior just gives me the icks. If it wasn't my best friend, I would not contact her again. But all my friends and my husband tell me it can happen to anyone when they're this drunk, so I should just let it slide if she apologizes properly. But honestly, I don't know if I can really forgive that. Of course she was drunk, but it's her character and her entire behavior, also on the next day, that makes me question if she really is such a good person to be around. It hurts to say this because when we were doing things alone, everything was always great and she didn't behave like this. But when she kind of joined my mainly male friend group, she started to act differently and looking for attention but rejecting them when they showed interest. This behavior puts me off so much because my mother also used to do this, although married, and I dislike this type of behavior with passion. What's even worse than this behavior for me is her lack of integrity. This was really disappointing to me. She said she didn't remember much but also said she was sure she didn't say these things and didn't try to get between B and C, which is controversial to me. A couple of weeks ago, I talked to her about how something bothers me but I couldn't pinpoint what it was. It was just the way she acted around them and talking to them, and I apologized to her numerous times because I thought it was simply my own insecurities that make me think of her actions as attention-seeking and getting annoyed by it. I apologized so profusely for thinking this way and opened up my entire heart and my thoughts, and I can't even count how many times I reflected on my thoughts and thought I was the problem in all this. When I might have been correct after all. I laid sleeplessly in bed day after day, and when she does something like this, so majorly insulting B's and my integrity, lying like it's nothing and hitting on engaged people, I would think this deserves a proper apology? But she didn't even call, just texted me trying to get out of this. Trying to figure out how much I know and what can be kept secret. She didn't come by even though she just lives 10 minutes away from us. I think this is what hurt the most. That after opening my heart to her and giving so much of my trust, my tears and an entry ticket to all my thoughts, she does not have either loyalty, morality nor the will to apologize to me properly. And I don't know if I can forgive that, because even if she apologizes after we come back from our honeymoon, I would have expected her to do it the day after the wedding. Waiting for 2 to 3 weeks and texting me like everything was normal, really, if I can say that here. So, I guess my questions are, should I just forgive her for what she did? Am I overreacting? What do I do with the church wedding? Can I trust her not to pull some again, or will I only have one bridesmaid? If I forgive her, should she stay in the friend group because basically she is just there because I brought her and no one really likes her, even before all this? How can I not hurt her after all? I am basically the only real friend she really has, and her former friends all cut contact with her after a couple of years, which really depresses her and makes her insecure. I don't want to hurt her by cutting her off, but I also can't seem to forgive her. I want to do right by her and not be depressed. Although she really sucked here, shish. He is otherwise a very great friend who always helps out and whom I can talk to. We usually enjoy our time together, so I really just don't know anymore. I have so many thoughts and I don't know the answers. I am sorry this became so long and if it sounds like a rant. I did not want to rant, but the emotions just poured all out again. Please help me, I really don't know what to do. TLDR, my supposed best friend spread rumors about me doing adult stuff in the bushes with a friend on my own wedding day and didn't really apologize for anything. I don't know what this means for our friendship. A lot of people said there was a lot of information, which I can see. I thought it would make her character more understandable, but I was wrong. I've marked the important part where she ducked up.